would they actually be willing to first pick the Senna because they first picked Nautilus last game and left Senna up? Clearly, they're not willing to make that trade anymore, so they ban out the Smolder to force the Senna ban from Cloud9, and now it is an Ahri first pick here for Quid, which he had some really good games on Ahri. That's also a pick that Jojo has always really been known for as well. So definitely a big change up already in draft.
And in the last patch, Ahri got the buffs that people just started being really confident again blind picking it.
Yeah.
So it's just risen as a premier mid lane blind pick.
Oh no, it's Lucian, Nami, Cloud9 fans.
Here we go.
Cloud9 fans are shaking in their boots.
No.
Somebody check on Meteos. Where's Meteos?
He's not happy about this one.
This is literally the meme of like, we're so back, we're doomed, it's over, you know?
Oh my goodness.
I actually really like their last Lucian game, so I'm going to give them that one, and it's going to be something they're just done. It's quite good.
With Berserker dashing and killing himself and almost losing them the game in the base?
I remember only the lanes.
How about the other one where he was like 0-0-0 until the last fight?
We got some Lucianators up here.
Yeah, it's garbage. And they picked it again, and everyone hates when Cloud9 plays this.
But they also got JoJo's Neeko with it, which saved them about 7 different times with game-saving plays, the JoJo Neeko. So it's like, you get the cursed, bottom lane duo of like, we're gonna win with Lucian Nami
They have the atomic bomb and the coughing baby on the same team.
There you go.
They're both on one squad.
JoJo Neeko has been insane though, so we'll see.
He's him on Neeko.
Yes. One thing I want to point out is that they're actually dropping top lane to 4-5, 100 Thieves is. So I think that's better for them. Sadly, I think Cloud9 would much rather just pick their top laner anyways. So the only information you're going to get is basically what Blaber is going to be picking, and it's likely that it's going to be a Lee Sin.
Yeah, I mean, it's got to be a aggressive jungle.
Yeah.
When you're a jungler and you see your mid laner is picking up Neeko here, like you are so happy. Neeko is one of the mid laners that you can get push really easily and move with your jungler, and you have insane CC. So this is going to be, again, an aggressive Cloud9 comp. Obviously, they locked in Lucian, Nami, and Neeko. So you're thinking, with the way that they played game number 1, they're going to want to snowball. They're going to want to try and beat the timer on Aphelios Lulu before the Aphelios Lulu starts mowing everybody down.
It is interesting, though, because they are kind of a bit lacking on hard engage. So Wukong would actually make a lot of sense, as a bit of that go button. So they are going to lock in the Wukong here for Blaber, which I really like because it does kind of fit his playstyle when he's at his best. It's a champion that works well with a lot of gold, that gets the advantage of getting a ton of farm as well, can be a massive team fighter, and can combo incredibly well with the Neeko, with the Wukong. The Nami ult comes over the top, the culling comes over the top, and they're going to save 5th pick for Fudge. So I do think conceptually C9 draft makes sense, but I absolutely have concerns about how the Lucian Nami is going to perform, because if they don't do really well, you're just going to get outscaled by Aphelios Lulu.
So I've been in this position looking at Cloud9 comps before where you're waiting for the 5 pick and you're thinking, ooh, if Fudge had like a tank with some hard engage, that would really round it out.
Yeah.
And then he goes with like Jace or something like that, and you're like, oh, another volatile or
Kindred.
Okay.
Hey, this is insane. Milky Way is actually changing, drafts across the world. Everybody's starting to play Kindred. They want more carry junglers, and they do have a Lulu on the team. It can help River as well.
It's a Blaber pick as well, right? So it's kind of picking one of his comfort picks against him. It does really good job in answering some of this hard engage, this AoE engage as well, to be able to kind of deny that initial first kill through the Neeko ultimate, the Wukong ultimate, etc. We also have that 5th pick Jax. How you feeling about that for Cloud9? It's more kind of priority again on the side lane, Ras.
I like it, at least if with how well they're playing towards him now, at least since the break. I think that we've been seeing a lot of great lanes from Fudge, so that's been a positive for me. The one thing that I don't like about the Kindred pick is because usually you would want to have Kindred Neeko within your own team. And I think if it wasn't Lucian, Nami, and the bot side of the map, they would have done that. But in this case, I think it's a little harder in team fights where it's even, where the Neeko right after Kindred ult expires is going to be beneficial for Cloud9. So that's the only thing to look out for me.
All right, well, I think it's all eyes for Cloud9 fans on that bot lane. Will the Lucian Nami succeed? Let's find out as we're going to hand it over to the casters to take us away.
Thank you very much, everybody, and welcome back, ladies and gentlemen. It's time for game number 2 here with this series. If you haven't missed game number 1, well, the super team was looking pretty super, and 100 Thieves have not yet beaten the allegations here in playoffs.
True. One thing I want to clear up, though, about Kindred play, just because everyone's like, Milky Way is playing Kindred, why can't we play Kindred? I watch a lot of LPL, probably too much. And one of the things that team does really well, or like when you see Shun on BLG lock in like a Jax jungle, is they play around that specifically, right? So you protect marks. You have a mid laner like, if not Neeko, then even Annie or something, or a Karma or something where you are supporting, and that carry jungle style comes from the way the entire team plays it. With this composition, it's really interesting for two reasons from 100 Thieves. One, we've not really seen them play that way around River when he's carrying. It's something more that on the Vi, where it's a lot about teamfight targeting, how he affects lanes. But the bot lane is also really interesting too.
All right, as we're waiting for the players to get into the PvP of the game, we're going to go toss things down to Mrs. Chim Chim and her interview with Golden Glue.
Last game is we picked a little bit too much scaling. We thought, you know, game one was going to start pretty slow and we wanted to have more scaling, but we weren't able to fight early, which is one of our big strengths. So we picked a better comp, I think, that lets us fight more early. And I think they overall still played pretty well. We just kind of got rolled over from some snowballing early. So yeah, I don't know. I feel pretty good about game two.
And what do they need to focus on to make sure that they can secure this win?
We were talking about just giving each other confidence to fight. I think last game we couldn't really fight early, so sometimes you get in this mindset to where like you never want to fight. So just giving each other confidence and to take aggressive fights is going to be the key for us.
Alrighty, thank you so much, and I'm gonna send it back to you, casters.
The one thing I'm worried about along those lines of what Golden Glue's talking about, being able to take fights where you want them, the difference in go buttons between these compositions. I'm looking at 100 Thieves, you got Aatrox, you got Kindred, Ahri, you know, there might be a couple tools to try to set up a pick here, but when you compare that to the engage power of Wukong and Nami waves and Neeko, C9 seems to have a lot more tools at their disposal.
Yeah, and I think the performance that C9 put on in game one is quite encouraging. Like, if you were to watch a preseason power ranking video and then watch game one of this playoff series, you'd think nothing was amiss.
Sure.
Yeah, totally normal split.
Everything's
Everything is
fine.
to expectation.
Exactly, but and that's what 100 Thieves has to bounce back from, because they've elevated themselves so much with their 10-4 regular season and their #2 seed, and they need to get back to, as Golden Glue said, the team that fights a lot. They led the league in combined kills per minute. It was actually higher than teams in most regions, and immediately River really wants to hop this wall and go at Jojo, but Jojo, we'll see if he gives the window.
Well, the charm not hitting there means Jojo won't be completely locked down.
A lot of damage.
But River getting some nice damage here with this gank. Jojo flashes away to live, just barely hanging on. But Blaber's now going to make his presence known in the bottom lane. Meech still trying to escape.
Might be dead.
Yeah, Blaber's just going to dash forward there with a clone. Easy first blood for the Cloud9 jungler.
Yeah, and I think, again, the big thing here, as we see Fudge has shoved this entire wave in and is now going to start dirty farming on the top side. Fudge is really good at playing around leads like this. They should be able to take a lot of top side advantage and be able to track River even better. But watching River's Kindred is so interesting because he still typically plays for his lanes.
Ooh, nicely done from Blaber there, guaranteeing the Scuttle Crab control.
Yeah, and Blaber plays a ton of Kindred, so he knows better than anyone, right? You want... The team is going to want to protect these marks. River has been known to sometimes skip marks, though. I actually tracked him versus Blaber, I remember, in terms of his early pathing and how the two junglers play differently around the Kindred pick specifically, as we see
Psycho.
revisiting the flashless Jojo.
Yeah, and River's given up a lot of early pressure. I think if he waits a little bit, he might be able to get a mark spun on this next crab, but overall, a very good early game from Cloud9.
And I like how aggressively Jojo wants to play this lane, specifically because he knows Ahri has exactly one hard CC. It goes in a line and it stops at one target, and it's very easy to just use the Neeko clone and say no.
Yeah, and again, we see tracking River is of the utmost importance. They were able to get that ward down thanks to Fudge's early topside pressure. They know exactly where he is. And the thing I'll say is, you like how Jojo's been playing aggressively. I like how aggressively Blaber has been playing, right? Like, I really like what he's done for his lanes as he's gonna catch out River on the top side.
Okay, River's going to have to surrender this Gromp to the power of Blaber's Smite Steal. He'll force the Kindred back over the wall. Meech and Eyla stuck underneath their turret right now. Meech only 300 HP left on that Aphelios, eating one of his biscuits to try to heal back up as Jojo keeps the pressure on there with the blooming blows in mid lane. Quid does not have a lot of health or mana to work with, and the problem is, teleports have already been spent on both of the mid laners, so C9 knows they've got control over the mid lane, they've got control over the top lane. No reason for Blaber not to be here just picking up some free grubs.
Dude, how happy is Blaber? Like, His mid laner absorbs the first gank, which allows Blaber to pick up first blood in bot lane. His mid laner then absorbs another gank.
Hold on, River with the flash over the wall, just going right after Jojo. The mounting dread with the followed up dance of arrows. River puts Jojo in the ground.
Okay, next point, River never gives up because the third time's the charm, and it actually bounces him back in the game. Up until that point, Jojo had absolutely been giving Blaber a massive leg up in this game because Blaber got first blood, Blaber stole 2 camps, Blaber got the grubs, but because River now actually got the kill on a Jojo, he's okay in the game, and that is actually kind of a perfect encapsulation of River versus Blaber. Blaber takes the more efficient, somewhat guaranteed plays. River is willing to go all out and just keep trying, and over time, he actually makes it work.
Yeah, as we see River coming down on this bot side. Again, the thing I really, really want to credit C9 for is tracking where he's going to be. Not just this game, but in the prior game, right? Like, obviously in this game, it's even more paramount, I think, to success because of how you really do want to protect those Kindred marks. As we see River still hovering around bot, seeing if he can make something happen, but outside of that one kill, hasn't really been able to get much.
Exactly. There's just not looking like a whole lot of opportunity down here. Still pointing out that the advantage in the top lane is in Fudge's favor. The 1v1 for the Jax and the Aatrox, there's enough minions here to get Fudge back up to about a 10-minion lead over his opponent. These guys have been pretty much left in a vacuum the entire time, and Fudge just seems to be having a great time with it.
And I'd say the C9 solo lanes are doing an extremely good job, where the 100 Thieves solo lanes have been the strength of the team throughout the regular season, and was one of the big ways they picked up the 10 wins. One interesting trend about the regular season, though, is 100 Thieves' early game was not that good. And it is yet to be good in this series. So if there would be a weakness to look at 100 Thieves before this series, it would be, can they actually hang on in the early games? Because they were 7th place or last place, so second to last or last place in many major statistical categories. And Cloud9 was actually towards the top in those. Push those two things together, and you might have Cloud9 running away with games, as they did in Game 1, and as they are potentially on pace to here in Game 2, with 3 grubs, first Drake, and 1,200 gold already in their pockets.
And it's about to be the Drake as well. You can see Blaber in the Drake pit picking this one up. Shouldn't have any difficulties with it because, again, it's so easy to be a jungler and look like you run the objective game when your lanes are just winning all over the map because the enemy can't contest you. Blaber got the grubs for free. He's going to get the Drake for free. C9 is very happy with the first 8 minutes of this game number 2.
Yeah, I am wondering, I was thinking they might look for something on top side with River here.
It's hard, though. It's a flash Jax.
Yeah, I mean, you might get him to use the helicopter, but after that, he's just going to fly away. Let's see if this turns into much. Nope. Counter-Strike's already ready.
Forward to jump to.
Flashing away. Okay, they got the flash, so that's something. But now I am going to need to see some kind of a repeat visit here in the next 5 minutes because I just don't think Sniper wins this 1v1, even if he has flash and Fudge doesn't.
Yeah, probably not. They did get the gank post-teleport, so he should be able to crash this next cannon wave, deny a few minions. Although, actually, no, with how Fudge is already running out of base, he's going to catch the majority of that wave since it is a cannon wave. Won't give Sniper that big of an advantage. So Sniper, who did lead the league in solo kills, yet to get a kill in this series. Such a surprising rookie going up against Fudge, who actually won the entire LCS in his rookie split. And so far, Fudge has definitely had the upper hand in this matchup.
Yeah, and the other curious thing is, I know people are really eye-rolly about the Lucian Nami pick from C9, right?
Yeah.
Especially since, like, you look at the win rate, it's not bad. You think about that Shopify game, you're like, did they win because of the Lucian Nami? I think Lucian Nami can be incredibly powerful, especially if Blaber is spreading his early pressures. We see him kind of hovering around mid lane here because it leads to their early Drake stacking, which they've already stacked up. Blaber's really, I don't think he's gonna be able to go anything for here. But they end up using that bot side pressure, translate it into early objectives. And what I really want to see is how they move around the mid game, right?
Yeah.
Lucian can be so controlling in terms of the map pressure he puts down, in terms of the kill pressure he has alongside the Nami, and I really want to see C9 take advantage of that.
Blaber immediately saw that that crab was in the top side with the mark. He rushes towards it, and Jojo uses his clone as a pseudo ward to make sure that River and Quid weren't going to get there in time. But now River and Sniper and Eyla are all showing up here in this top side River, ready to try to contest the grubs. River grabs the first one, so no 6 grub count for the side of C9. Nice charm from Quid, hits the real Jojo. It's going to force them back. 100 Thieves should grab these grubs. There's the second one. So it looks like it'll be a 3-3 grub state unless Blaber can sneak in, but Quid still running interference, keeping the C9 jungler out.
I mean, a really successful contest for 100 Thieves, considering they were a little bit behind in that top lane matchup. I'd say that charm chunk they got onto Jojo prevented an all-out fight from occurring. Berserker also kind of auto-path towards bottom lane because he has a static shiv, and I feel like he wants that sweet, sweet plate gold for himself. But if he'd pathed out towards mid, they could have actually secured 6 grubs and maybe gotten gold later. But now they are first to bottom, and there's the teleport.
TP coming in as Jojo goes for the pop blossom and the dive on Meech. Eyla wants to keep him alive, but he can't do it in time. Now Quid's gonna try to clean these guys up. Nice flash away from Berserker. Keeps him alive long enough. Quid still in hot pursuit, and the Foxfire cooks him. Now Jojo's gotta try to kite it out, but he doesn't have a lot of mana to work with. Jojo with 500 HP, but Quid's got all the mana. Another nice use of the charm, but Eyla picks up the kill. Now Blaber's coming in looking to finish these guys off. He goes after Eyla first, because he knows that Quid is stuck on the wrong side of the rift. He tries to spirit rush his way back to safety, but he's fish food, baby. Quid drops. Vulcan gets the money. It's a 4-3 game for C9.
Oh, Quid is so clutch because that could have absolutely been curtains for 100 Thieves. This is a very fed Lucian who's putting the other Aphelios in the dirt thanks to Jojo's early roam. They completely one-shot him. You think after this they can get extra plates, they can get more, but because Quid is able to secure not only this kill, but then also win the duel against Jojo later and then give the kill over to Vulcan, of all people, it's massive for keeping 100 Thieves in the game.
Yeah, and we see little pockets of this, and like Quid and Jojo, we talked about how when we were prepping for this game, I remember, Clayton, you were like, mid, 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 mid. It's going to be all about mid. That's all we should talk about, because these two players have been, as we see that kill goes over to Vulcan, these two players have been at their like forefront of what their teams are doing. And when it comes to those hero plays and team fights, typically it is coming from Quid or it is coming from Jojo.
Which poses the interesting question, because this has been a hotly debated topic among the community so far in this split. People talking about who's the better mid laner so far in spring between Quid and Jojo. We pose the question to you now. I believe we got a poll that's about to be in a chat, or it might already be. Which one of these guys is more valuable to his team? That's a very specific question that we're asking too. It's not just who's the better laner, who's the better fighter, or whatever. It's who's more valuable to the way that their team operates and wins games.
A lot of people say River is what enables Quid to have the improvement from last split, but Quid has also made several massive individual plays. He leads the league in player of the games as well, but Jojo continues to make a big impact. And in terms of current game impact, though, it is this Lucian Nami. One quick call out. C9 is undefeated on the Lucian Nami. They were winless on the Lucian Melio, and the way this pick manifests its power is actually through things like that. You try and contest mid, you get chunked out, which now gives Cloud9 an uncontested trade.
Exactly. As soon as I saw that culling come out, that just seems to be the textbook play of what you want to do with the Lucian after you're out of the lane, after you've hit this first item power spike. You don't even need the kill, but Meech is so low now, there's no way that 100 Thieves can try to contest this second Drake. Blaber's going to pick that one up too. It's now a 2-0 Drake count for C9.
And I also think when people talk about the scaling of Lucian Nami, and they say it's bad, I would say the scaling depends.
Okay.
It depends on what you're playing against, because nothing on 100 Thieves, in my opinion, is going to stop Berserker from being able to chunk someone to half health at any stage of the game if he stays ahead of the curve. There is very poor hard engage. There's no Nautilus that can hook him when he steps up to poke. So I think if he's able to keep this 50 CS gap between himself and Aphelios and keep himself accelerated, it's going to be a very good look for Berserker's Lucian.
No hard engage and no true tank. Again, your front line is the drain tank in Aatrox. If you're getting shot with 400 bullets from 1,500 units away, there's nothing to drain tank off of. We'll see how well 100 Thieves will be able to navigate these larger fights. We are 14.5 minutes into the game now. Plates have fallen. Laning phase is pretty much over, which means I'm expecting some larger fights. The Herald also hanging out in the pit. There's no Drake to contest on the other side of the map, so you're not just going to get a trade. It looks like 100 Thieves might want to do something about this.
Yeah, they want to, but I don't know if they can or if they should, right? Because C9 is in a much better state to be able to take this fight. River was setting up for it initially. You can tell that they really want to make a play.
Blaber popping the clone to immediately get out of there as River jumps in with the dance of arrows, but there's Berserker's calling. Ayla loses about 1/3 HP. River has to flash over the wall. Oh no! That was not what they wanted to do! Ayla just got fast food delivered. We went into the fight, and now Jojo's already found the Pop Blossom. I think the game just ended, and it sounded like a blast cone. C9 trying to grab another one here as Sniper barely escapes back underneath the tier 1 turret. C9 gets 3 kills. C9 gets the Herald. C9 is not letting Aatrox back. They're going to save him for dessert. Sniper wants to clear this wave.
Good luck.
Objective bounties are available soon, but the only bounty they want's Sniper, baby. Fudge goes on a rampage. 8-3 for C9. 4 more kills for them at the end of this fight. That could not have been worse for 100 Thieves.
It gets even worse when you think about all 4 of those kills went to Fudge, right? So now they should have complete side lane control over this too. And as we take a look at this fight, obviously we're gonna have the Blast Cone of Doom coming up for Ayla,
no.
yeah, who definitely did not want to go into the fight there. And it's just kind of over. Jojo, I mean, even in
ults too?
Even in not advantageous situations like this, Jojo's Neeko Pop Blossoms have been amazing. There's the triple kill. He's gonna get the delayed quadra. River's not laughing about it. River seemed more excited about that play than Mithy. Mithy's like, yeah, let's go. Oh, and we're fighting again.
Oh, we're fighting, but Vulcan is dying. 100 Thieves grabbing a pick.
Okay, that reaction by River is really interesting to me.
How so?
So listen, normally I would say a team that is 10-4, called fraudulent by all of their competitors, and then is 0-1 down in the series, just had a disastrous fight. You are face-palming, you are angry, you are tilted. He still does seem relaxed, which makes me think he's going to be willing to trigger pull later in this game, and I actually think has the mindset they need to stay in it. The problem is... Fudge has 5 kills now.
I was about to say, I think the problem might be the dead Aatrox on our screen, as River also drops on the other side of the map. Fudge takes the tier 1 turret. 5,000 gold lead now for C9. They're just going to keep on pushing down the mid lane, take out that tier 1 there. That's going to balloon this up to about 6K. Yeah.
And this is what happens when Cloud9 picks 2 to 3 winning lanes and they dominate. It's what they did in the first week. It's what they failed to do throughout the middle of the split. But they are feeling, what were they saying? C9 is back?
They're back?
They definitely feel back in the first game and a half of this series.
Yeah, and there, again, you can see the dangerous... Wow, okay, chat has decreed Quid is more important to his team. We'll see if he'll be able to help kind of maybe get 100 Thieves back in the game, but I think the big thing here is now you saw it. Those 4 kills going to Fudge, no one can go up against this Jax in the side lane now. So they should be able to have side lane pressure. River has not been able to do anything for 2 straight games. Jojo is going to end up getting this turret on bot side.
The Jax is 2,700 gold ahead.
Yeah.
Like, he's got Trinity Force plus Sundered Sky. Sniper's got his Profane Hydra and some garbage longswords. Like, this is just not even comparable.
Yeah, Sniper has had a rough go. You can see River trying a last-ditch effort. Fudge would actually consider trying to turn this around, I think. The fact that he also had the Kindred show means Berserker gets to continue to play aggressive. Everyone on Cloud9 at the moment wants to go in.
And I just realized something. Oh, nice binding from Jojo there, but Quid's still safe enough under the turret to not die. When we had Sven on here, and he was talking about playing with Berserker, and Berserker always wanted to go rapid fire second on Lucian because it's his signature item. And this game, it works out great because there's no tank on the enemy team to absorb it. Berserker gets to play his signature Lucian style, and it's going great for C9.
Yeah, I mean, C9's map control in these...
Oh, Quid! Pop Blossom into the blooming blows. C9, they get the kill, and Jojo lives with the stasis. Ayla pops him there at the end to make it a 1-for-1. But C9 nearly getting a kill on River here, too. Now he's just face-checking into the Lucian. River, he'll stay alive through Lamb's respite. They throw him up in the air with a tidal wave. River gets himself back far enough to survive. Meech still trying to fight back against these guys. Moonlight Vigil doesn't hit a damn thing. Blaber spinning, C9's winning, and there ain't nobody on 100 Thieves gonna stop him. Holy cow, 4 dead bodies in 100 Thieves colors.
And that entire sequence was C9 ego.
Yep.
They didn't need to do that to win this game, but they wanted to do that to win this game. Jojo flashed in between turrets to get a solo kill onto Quid, knowing it would cost him his life. It did open them up to some vulnerability, but they outplayed them once again, and they just accelerate this game even more.
Well, this is what we wanted to see from C9 all year, right? Like, not just we're eking out a win because we're A-ramming against Shopify Rebellion for like a half hour. It's stuff like this, right?
Yes.
It's them being able to make these really flashy plays and get away with it. And then more analytically, I have actually really enjoyed the way that they've used their map pressure from these winning lanes.
I completely agree, and I'd say Fudge, to me, is the biggest standout in terms of denying 100 Thieves what their win conditions have been in the regular season and enabling Cloud9 to win in these playoffs, because Fudge was largely not impactful in most regular season games from Cloud9. It was kind of a JoJo check as Berserker is signaturing on River.
He nearly kills 2 of them. River is dead. Meech barely survives. Sniper stuck in a bad fight now as Blaber and Jojo are working together to burst him down. He's trying to fly away. Barely escapes the root. But Berserker, he's not done. He wants to go in. Where's that signature shot? All right, not quite enough. Not quite enough firepower, but hey, if the small arms fire won't do it, bring in the air support. The Fudge Copter's got 6 kills.
Oh god, this game is so fun. It's completely off the rails. I feel like we're getting our tryouts for being LPL casters, right?
There you go.
Every time Jatt or I try to make a point, there's a fight.
Actually, I think this is what a lot of 100 Thieves scrims look like. Isn't that what we keep saying throughout the regular season? No, literally, they said sometimes we lose 17 scrims in a row, and oh, we show up on stage. But this is actually the manifestation of the things that happen to 100 Thieves if things do not go well. And it's very interesting right now, the mental that 100 Thieves is going to be in going into Game 3, because they were the 2nd seed. They did have 2 more wins than Cloud9 in the regular season, but they have just been annihilated, as LS also makes this
LS
joke.
agrees with you.
Great minds think alike.
Fabled 100 Thieves from scrims have appeared.
But, like, look at this. This is a slaughter. This is the worst 100 Thieves loss of the entire year that we've seen on stage.
Yeah,
and it's happening in the playoffs.
This is really bad. So last game you were saying, man, this feels like probably one of the least powerful 14,000 gold leads. I mean, we're almost up to a 14,000 gold lead. How powerful is this one feeling?
Much more.
Okay.
Yeah, this feels like a very powerful 12K gold lead.
When you have a double-digit goal lead at 22 minutes, you feel invincible.
Yeah.
And I think you might as well be. Berserker kills off Meech. He has been putting the cullings in this guy for the past 5-10 minutes, and every time, Meech barely gets away. Somebody body blocks for him. Get down, Mr. President. Well, the Secret Service wasn't around this time, and Meech bites the dust. C9 pushing down mid lane. They've got the Baron. Tier 3 turret, it's just going to evaporate, man. There is no way. The Thieves will try to rally, maybe make one last defense here. C9 will take down the first inhib over in mid as they're waiting on Fudge. Jojo goes in for the engage with Pop Blossom. River barely gets the Lamb's Respite off in time to keep himself alive, but now the wave coming in over the top guarantees he drops anyway. Blaber is unstoppable, and C9 keeps the march going. They note they still got another 30 seconds before Blaber is back. Meech is back on the map, but he's a cannon minion with his hair swept in front of his eye. At this point, Aphelios does not do anything in this game state. Now C9, can they even just try to end right now? The minion wave wants to, but the rest of the team is going to choose not. They'll head back out onto the rift and need one last push to end the game.
Yeah, I thought they maybe could have pushed it to end. We'll see. I think the big thing going forward now, for looking at, okay, what do 100 Thieves do to regroup? The biggest quiet point, so on the flip side of Fudge doing really, really well in these first 2 games, right?
Yep.
Sniper has been completely quiet. This is the second time we've seen the blind pick Aatrox. He's like, the TF is out. What else is Fudge gonna play? The answer is Jax. I feel like this has not been working in terms of the way that 100 Thieves would want to play. I would not necessarily point to this draft as what has been giving them success all year.
Yeah, I mean, I think also C9 is just playing at a higher level. They're more polished, they're more focused than they have been throughout the regular split. But I think they've been utilizing Fudge's experience in counterpicking top lane. It's something that was critical in most of C9's title runs in the past with Fudge, and they're doing it to Sniper here. So I do think 100 Thieves will switch sides if they want a chance in this series. I don't think they can let Fudge have this counterpick because it's 2 games in a row. I think he's been the most impactful as he just freely leaps into the base, and Cloud9 still has Baron somehow. 4,000 gold power play going for more.
Yeah, the Ahri's completely out of ulti opportunity now. I don't think 100 Thieves is long for this world. Inhibitor topside taken down. Double super minions in every lane now. Spawning for C9 as Berserker dashes in. Once again, just trying to flex those muscles. Pop Blossom ain't gonna find Quid. He flashes out to stay alive, but Blaber's still looking to keep these guys on the run, but they're looking to burst him down. Steric's Gauge keeps the monkey going, but the shutdown back to Meech. C9 finally get a little too hyphy and end up losing 1 for nothing.
Yeah, I mean, it's good that kill.
Hold on. Never mind. 1 for 1. Fudge hits him with the stick. And now Sniper's got to try to get himself away from it. C9 is not willing to just let this one go. They're not going to find any lockdown there from JoJo's Neeko. Now Sniper still at about half HP. He's got to be careful here. Keep your eyes on Fudge. Quid goes in for the charm. They lock down the Jax, and the shutdown goes over to Quid. 100 Thieves now looking for a little bit more, but all they're going to find is a bullet. Quid barely holds on thanks to Lamb's respite yet again, keeping these guys going, but it's still 19-7. It's still 12,500 gold, and it's still 6 super minions spawning every single time a wave generates for C9.
I mean, listen. That was really foolish of Cloud9. I think the game is completely over. If they just recall after 1 death, they get the Chemtech soul, they push in next, absolutely no big deal. They wanted to style on them. I think there's an outside chance that we could look back at this moment and say, wow, this is when the series turned. Very likely that this doesn't matter, but we'll see, right? 100 Thieves is they're still trying. They still got 2,000 gold to bounty in that last exchange.
Yeah, so say if there's a moment, that would be the one we point to.
It would be.
I think as C9 easily lock up Chemtech Soul, probably not gonna happen.
Yeah.
Jax is also just completely, he's at 3.5 big items. Like this guy is a monster. It is almost impossible to kill him. We saw they finally did take him down in that last one, but now Sniper here on the front line yet again. Berserker with a calling. Doesn't quite have enough damage to finish him off, but River's gonna be your next target now. The Kindred's been the only thing keeping these guys alive. There's your tidal wave to guarantee it as Eyla flashes back into the fountain. Jojo with a 3-man ulti to guarantee the Thieves can't do it. C9 might have lost their mid laner, but they took out 2. They'll finish off the Nexus, and they'll move to match point.
1 game away from guaranteeing themselves top 3 and moving themselves to being 1 series away from MSI. 2 back-to-back statement games by Cloud9 saying that regular season doesn't matter. 8-6, who cares? They are up 2-0 against the previously 10-4 100 Thieves.
Yeah, and I can't